There's a meme of a person trolling their school with Among Us. I am doing that to my office. My coworkers were working at their desks and I went up behind one of them. I yelled, "One of the imposters, sus!" And I did the grin for the meme and hoped he would get it. He told me to go away, so I slapped him in the face and said, "Sus! Eject him!" Everybody was looking at me from throughout the office. I said, "You're all imposters!" If they don't get the reference, they are imposters. I ran over to the douchebag Jerry and smacked him, but he pushed me away and started calling the office. He got on the call, but I got on the phone and said, "Haha, you're a bit sussy. Do. Like the Among Us drip song. I ran out the door because I don't want to work with a bunch of losers. When I went into the office the next day, everybody ignored me, so I walked up to a coworker and said, "Hey, why are you ignoring me? You're a bit sussy." He reached for the red phone and I was reminded it looked like the Among Us character, so I said, "When the phone is sus, ha ha ha." And I did the last tech tip's disappointed face. "Get it? Do you use Reddit?" He was talking to management when I cut the phone cord and threw it across the office. I said, "Red with the imposter, ha 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 ha." And I did the Among Us drip song. He wasn't smiling and he punched me, but I said, "You're sus! You're the imposter, I saw you vent." He was angry and he tried to punch me again, but I grabbed his fist and said, "Omae wa no shinjuru." He tried to punch me again. He's a loser. He didn't even get my anime reference. So I took my pants off and shoved him on his head. He just got pantsed, ha 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 ha. And I did the Pepe smile and ran out of the office. He wants to talk to an imposter. Stupid bitch. So I went into work and I started working. I decided to install Among Us to play, right? But my boss was walking by and said,
"Hey, why are you playing video games on the work computer?"
I said that I was playing Among Us. I started playing Among Us and asked him if he's uncultured. He told me to get out, so I said, "Quit being sus." And I did the funny imposter sus grin you guys know. And I slapped him in the face and yelled, "Emergency meeting!" Everybody in the office was looking at me like I had murdered several Bosnian children. So I pulled out my dick and said, "Look at this, little spaceman." I took off my pants and ran around the office with my dick flying around. The buff guy, Chad, was chasing me, but I just got behind him and humped him. I said, "Good imposters get butt humps." He screamed and punched me. I ran out of work not wanting to work with such Redditor phobes. When I went to work the next day, I immediately ran to the elevator. I already saw Chad running towards me, but it was already closed when I got to the elevator. It was traveling to my boss's office. When I got up, I ran at him and kicked him out the window. "You are sus," I said as I watched him fall out. His body's flat on the pavement and is ran over by multiple cars below. I caused a traffic jam. I went back to the elevator and went to floor 5. I ran down the hall, Naruto running. You know the funny Naruto run from the anime? And I got to the intercom or whatever that shit was called.
"All members of the ship, please report to the bottom floor for an emergency meeting."
I Naruto ran down the stairs to the bottom floor. I stood on the table in the middle of the office and stomped. "I have an emergency meeting! The boss is dead! The imposter killed him! We need to find out who the imposter is!" Everybody was yelling at me to stop, but I wasn't until I killed everyone as the imposter. That's right, I am the imposter. I just killed my boss. I now had to convince everybody that I wasn't the imposter. "Chad is the imposter!" I randomly yelled out. Another coworker said,
"Well, I did see him running towards the stairs/elevator. Wait, think about this.
Chad stated.
How do you know I'm the murderer? It could be him."
My coworker John said,
"Why do you think it's him, Darius?"
"Well," I started, "the same reason as you. I saw him running towards the elevator as the killing happened." Wait, Angelica proclaimed. "How do we know it happened on the top floor?" Another coworker, Adam, pointed at the window towards the paramedics wrapping up my boss's mangled corpse in a body bag. "Oh," Angelica said. "That's a bit sussy," I said.
"I think it must have been Angelica. She's pretending she doesn't know anything."
You might be right. My coworker Dave spoke up.
"But I think that it might be you, Darius."
Wait, whoa. Why is it me? I defended myself. He said,
"I saw you enter the elevator right before the murderer hit."
He said, "Shit, he's onto me." "Oh, you could be lying. I was in my cubicle doing office work." I yelled back.
"Oh, really? What were you doing?"
Dave said, "I was, scanning for viruses on my computer." Okay. I think that we should get rid of Liam," Angelica proclaimed.
Whoa, pretty lady. Why do you think that?
He quickly hopped to his defense.
I haven't been part of this discussion at all.
Well, you're pale and you work on the closest floor to the boss, Angelica replies. Yeah, that's sus, Liam. I said, we should get rid of him.
I agree.
Chad said.
Me too.
Adam said.
Me three.
John said. And so we decided to throw him out the window. Trolling my dad's office with Among Us. The other day, it was Take Your Kid to Work Day at my dad's job. It was really epic and poggers because I got to skip school for it. As we were walking in, I couldn't help but notice that the company logo roughly resembled a crewmate from a popular game, Among Us. I asked my father, "Is it the Among Us but real?" My dad replied, "No, son. This is a PepsiCo corporate office." As we entered the building, "Son, I have a lot of work to do today. You can hang out with the other kids or play on your phone. Just please stay on this floor." He then entered the elevator and left. I turned to the other kids, who were all playing on their phones, and said, "Does anyone want to play some Among Us?" However, no one else wanted to play. I was getting bored. So I decided to explore around a little bit. I walked into the elevator and pressed the button for the top floor. As the elevator door opened, I saw what appeared to be a long hallway. As I was walking down it, I found a door that was labeled Executive Meeting Room. The door was unlocked, so I walked in there, and there were about 15 people in suits and ties around a table. They all looked up at me in confusion. One of them asked me, "Hey, buddy, are you lost?" I noticed that the name tag read, Hugh Johnson, CFO. Does CFO stand for Chungus Fortnite Officer? I asked.
No, it does not. And where's your parent? Go back to the bottom floor, young man.
He was yelling at me, so I said, "You're sus. I should eject you, Hugh Johnson. Do you have a Hugh Johnson? That's funny like Big Chungus, which is the Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes, but a big rabbit." I laughed. Everybody was looking up at me in shock when I said, "Wanna play some Among Us?" The CEO, a very sexy woman, Ooga Booga Wooga, said,
"Young men, go to the first floor now."
But the sexy woman I just couldn't listen to as I admired her. No, because you have big tits. Her jaw dropped and she said,
"Young man, this is a very important meeting. Get the fuck out."
She then used the intercom to call security. Coming to the realization that I was running out of time, I pulled down my pants to show everyone my Among Us underwear. I jumped up onto the meeting table and started twerking to make sure everyone saw my Among Us underwear I got for Christmas, and said, "Do you like what you see?" Everybody was yelling at me to get out as I was twerking. "I'm so hot," I said, the yelling getting louder. I ran out of the door and closed it, hoping that security wouldn't find me. I quickly ran into the elevator and went down. Okay, back to the regular story. After we threw Liam out the window, I decided to call another emergency meeting. "Chad sus! He's a sussy very imposter," I said. They all asked why Chad was sus, and I said it because his name was Chad. They all agreed, so we ejected him. I was an hour or two running around the office when Adam stopped me and he said, "Why are you running?" Oh my fuck, did he just say the funny Ugandan mean? "Spit on him, brothers." I spit on Adam and I pulled down my pants and pissed on him. He ran away screaming and everybody looked at me. I pulled my pants up. "Adam sus, he's screaming." Everybody nodded and we ejected Adam. My son came up out of the elevator even though it was Take Your Kid to Work Day and he was supposed to stay on the bottom floor, not up here on the third floor. So I said, "Son, what the fucking nugget wholesome Keanu Reeves are you doing here?" He closed the elevator door and I think he went to the first floor. I tried pissing on the elevator door in hopes that it would malfunction, but I don't think it worked. That stupid little bastard. So I got in the elevator when it came back up and went to the first floor. I looked around, but I couldn't find him. I pulled one of the kids up by her shirt and said, "Where the fuck is my child?" She was screaming and I threw her away. I stomped down the hallways trying to look for him, but I couldn't find him. This is not Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, 100 wholesome Keanu Reeves Chungus Among Us moment. That's pretty sus. All the coworkers were looking at me in terror. I went out back and searched in the dumpster to see if I could yet again try to find a weapon to kill all the people there. I already got rid of Chad, Adam, and Liam, so everyone else could be easily disposed of. I was dashing around the office. Everyone looked at me weird. I was screaming, "Sus! Sus! Among Us!" Everybody started chanting with me, "Sus! Sus! Among Us! Among Us! Sus! When the imposter is sus!" We all did the Among Us beatbox in unison. It was beautiful, like a horse waving his mane in the air on a bright and pretty day. But suddenly I noticed one of the kids wasn't doing the Among Us strip beatbox, so I ran over to her. "Hey kid," I said, "stop being an asparagus or whatever your dumb star signs are, and be not sussy with us." She looked at me weird and said, "Whatever, old man." That was so disrespectful and sus of her. So I put my hands around her neck and twisted her head off, like that one kill animation in Among Us. Everyone looked at me in horror, even the ones who were Among Us beatboxing with me. Everyone was looking at me like I'd sexually abused a Syrian 4-year-old refugee, which I had done before. I said, "What?" When suddenly the elevator opened. It was the CEO of PepsiCo. I noticed the Pepsi pin on her shirt and said, "When the Pepsi is sus?" Because it reminded me of the Among Us crewmate. I did a sussy Among Us beatbox. You know, the one that goes, ding, ding, boom, boom. You know the one. But before I finished it, I noticed her boobs were big, so I took my finger and poked her titty that was almost bursting out of her shirt. "Booba," I said. She had a face more horrified than anybody in the room, like before when everyone looked at me last week like I'd murdered several Bosnian children. You remember that, right? She screamed, "Security!" Two buff men with pecs almost as big as hers and clothes so tight you could see their 12-pack abs through their shirt tackled me. I said, "That's a bit sussy," like how the guy said in the "Stop posting about Among Us" rant. "You're not wholesome Keanu Reeves Chungeth 100 Fortnite bad TikTok cringe Minecraft and Reddit good," I said. I got out and kicked their nuts. Although they were big, still not as big as my Magnum Megacock. You know, like the size of Danny DeVito's? They still cried when I kicked their nuts. "You fucking crackerjacks! Your TikTokers trying to invade Reddit!" I screamed. I dashed for the door, but an alarm started blaring and steel barriers went down over the windows. I barely slid out of the door before the steel door closed under me. I heard the alarms blaring even from the inside. I started running away, trying to flee the scene. Not even half a mile away, I saw a SWAT police car dash by me. It started to slow down. Oh shit, they nosed me. I jumped into a nearby bush and hid, hoping he wouldn't see me. Quickly, a bunch of fully armed men with automatic rifles and heavy armor came out of the back, scoping the area around.
"We can't let him get away,"
I heard one of them yell. Were they talking about me? I didn't do anything sus. At least if murder, sexual harassment, and assault didn't count as being sus. I stayed still, not even making a sound. A few minutes in, I heard my dick hole queef. It didn't make that much of a sound, but I just barely saw out of the bush. The SWAT team started looking around. Shit, they heard my cock fart. I couldn't move as it would make too much noise. Eventually, after a while of looking, they just left. I was free! I quickly got out and ran, but making sure to run behind the bushes so I wouldn't be spotted. I eventually got into the main part of the city. The town wasn't all that big, but it was big enough for me to hide. I did it. I really did it. I had gotten away. Eventually I made it far, far out of town. I can't even tell Reddit where I am. It's too secret. I'm currently living a secret life in my inconspicuous location. But this is a story of how I trolled my office with Among Us.